It has been over 1 year since we first visited the island. A mysterious island, deep within the Pacific Ocean. It started as a controlled experiment. We were able to bring ancient creatures back to life in order to study them and learn more about them. But they broke free. Our last attempt at documenting these creatures was a failure, and we haven't heard from our last research team in months. But humans are curious creatures, and curiosity got the best of us. So we came back. Welcome to Pangea 2019. As we saw in the intro, this poor little fella just had his kill stolen, so he's making his way back to his nest. Now, you might be wondering, what is this creature? A velociraptor maybe? Or perhaps something even smaller, like a Compsognathus of sorts? Well, he might be a bit more familiar than we once thought. You see, between seasons, Silver, one of the Utah raptors, laid a few eggs, and this is the only one that hatched. Now, he really shouldn't have been going so far away from his nest, let alone going after a kill of that size, and she lets him know this. But at the end of the day, he is still her only son, so she can't be too harsh on him. Back with the Carnotaurus, he is very clearly enjoying his meal. And yes, this is the same Carnotaurus from last season, the one that we dubbed the King of the Plains. And well, he's held this title quite well. This is his domain, and he lets all the other dinosaurs know it. He realizes that it is probably going to begin raining soon. The weather on this island can be quite unpredictable at times. Nevertheless, he begins making his way back to his den. However, the king may soon be dethroned. This juvenile T-Rex is in fact the same one from last season. However, life hasn't been treating him all too well. You see, stealth is vital for a Tyrannosaurus to live and, more importantly, to hunt. So you can see why it isn't ideal that he is living on the plains. And the only real stealthy place on the plains is already occupied by the Carnotaurus. And the T-Rex knows this. Ah, the desert. More specifically, the lake within the desert. This was a place that we would often frequent in the last season, and well, recently it has become quite the hot spot here on Pangea. All the dinosaurs know that the dry season is coming, so water is very important, especially this time of year. And it is quite a peaceful place, for the most part. The pair of Allosauruses strike again. This is their home after all. After getting their kill on dry land, they dig in. However, they might have a bit of competition. This Baryonyx has chosen this lake because, well, Baryonyx was a piscivore, meaning it mainly ate fish. That's what its jaw was designed for. They may end up having some conflict. We will just have to see how it plays out. On the far eastern side of the plains is a vast expanse of dry dirt and dead grass. Next to nothing lives here. Nothing, that is, except for scavengers. This is a Dimorphodon, a strange pterosaur from the Jurassic period, and he is currently feasting on the carcass of an Ankylosaurus. However, he may have to cut his feasting short. This is Rhamphorhynchus, another strange Jurassic pterosaur, and he is looking for a bite to eat. The Dimorphodon may not have killed this Ankylosaurus, but this may be the only time he gets to eat in possibly weeks, so he is not going to give up his food that easily. The situation is getting rather tense, when suddenly, the Dimorphodon gets a good jab at his enemy. The Rhamphorhynchus knows now that he cannot win, so he leaves the Dimorphodon to his business. Now that that annoyance is out of the way, our Dimorphodon friend goes back to feasting. We take our journey to somewhere that we didn't venture to much at all in the last season, that being the forests of the north. This particular area is home to a very strange dinosaur, that being the mighty Spinosaurus, one of the largest predators to ever walk the earth. He has chosen this particular stretch of land because there is quite a sizable pond nearby, which is a good food source for a piscivore such as Spinosaurus. The only issue is the extremely harsh plant life around here. It is so incredibly thick and difficult to maneuver in that this Spinosaurus is worried that he will have to migrate soon. But that might not be the only issue. Another Spinosaurus, a juvenile, has come to join him in his feeding. Two male Spinosaurs in the same vicinity can only result in conflict. However, being a juvenile, the orange one just assumes that he is naive and ignores him. But the juvenile is persistent and sees nothing wrong with sticking by the orange one's side. Being quite annoyed, he ventures back to his den. Disappointed that he did not catch any fish, he gets ready to lie down for a nap. However, he cannot fall asleep. He senses another presence nearby. He gets up and turns around, only to come face to face with the juvenile Spinosaurus. He had followed him back to his den. He is quite upset now. But the juvenile does not seem to be deterred. He is confused, but he realizes that there is nothing he can do to get rid of his annoyance. The only thing he can do now is try to go back to sleep.